The sacrifice the twin suns were setting over the alien city of Varelia, their red and gold light painting the crystal towers in fire. The streets were silent, no children played, no music played. Every home had its windows shut and doors locked, high. In the royal palace, the prince stood on the balcony, his golden robe flowing in the warm wind. Below, the people gathered in the main square, their faces pale with fear. The prince raised his hand and spoke, his voice echoing across the city. "The sky dragon has awakened," he said. "It has already destroyed 3 villages in the last moon. Our city will be next if we do not act." Crowd whispered. Some began to cry. Everyone had heard the stories. The sky dragon was older than the mountains, bigger than the royal palace, and its breath could melt the strongest metal. The prince looked down at them with cold eyes. To calm its rage, a sacrifice must be given. He continued, one pure and untainted, a life to pay for the lives it has taken. The guards brought forward a young alien girl, Lyra. Her skin was a soft silver blue, her long hair shimmered like starlight. She was dressed in a simple white robe, her hands bound with silver chains. Her wide golden eyes scanned the crowd, searching for help, but no one stepped forward. Lyra did not cry. She knew this moment was coming. The royal guards had taken her from her home 2 nights ago. Her mother's screams still rang in her ears. But Lyra had one thought in her mind. She did not believe the dragon was just a beast. The prince spoke again. "By giving this girl to the sky dragon, we shall earn its mercy." The people lowered their heads. No one dared to speak. The guards dragged Lyra toward a sleek silver hovercraft waiting at the edge of the square. The engines roared, lifting them into the air. The city shrank below them, the glowing towers fading into the distance. Ahead, black clouds gathered over a range of jagged mountains. Lightning flashed, lighting up the sharp peaks. Lyra's chains rattled as the ship shook in the wind. One of the guards glanced at her. "Don't try to run, girl," he said. "No one ever comes back from the dragon's lair." Lyra stayed silent, but inside she thought, maybe no one came back because they were too afraid to try. Hours passed before the mountains rose up beneath them. Rivers of glowing lava cut through the rocks, sending waves of heat into the air. The ship descended toward a huge volcano, its mouth glowing like the heart of a furnace. They landed on a Azande, flat rock ledge near a massive dark cave. The heat was almost unbearable. Lyra could feel the air vibrating, as if the ground itself was breathing. The guards pushed her forward. The silver chains cut into her wrists. The cave entrance was taller than the palace gates, black smoke rolling out of it. The soldiers looked nervous. They quickly unchained her hands, then backed away toward the ship. One of them tossed a small bundle of food at her feet. "Not that you'll need it," he muttered. Lyra didn't move. The ship's engine started again, and in moments, the soldiers were gone. The sound of their departure faded, leaving only the low rumble of the volcano. She stood alone at the mouth of the cave, staring into the darkness. The smell of sulfur filled the air, and somewhere deep inside, she heard a slow, heavy sound. Like something breathing, her heart pounded. Her instinct screamed to run, but her legs would not move. She remembered the stories told to frightened children, how the sky dragon's eyes could see through lies, how its teeth were sharp enough to split stone. Then, the ground trembled. Pebbles rolled down from the walls. From the blackness, 2 glowing eyes appeared. The dragon stepped forward, its massive body covered in scales that shone like molten gold and dark steel. Each step made the ground shake. Heat rolled off its body like waves from a fire. Lyra could feel its gaze on her, sharp and piercing. But she did not see hunger in its eyes. She saw something else, something she could not name. The dragon stopped, only a few steps away, its head lowered, steam rising from its nostrils. The two stared at each other in silence. Lyra took a slow breath. Her voice was quiet, almost a whisper. "I am not afraid of you," she said. The dragon blinked, tilting its head slightly, as if studying her. The low rumble in its chest was not a growl, it was something softer, And in that moment, Lyra's fear began to fade. She felt, deep inside, that this meeting was not the end of her story. It was only the beginning. The dragon's lair. The cave swallowed Lyra in darkness as she stepped forward. The heat grew stronger, like standing too close to a blazing fire. The walls glistened with strange crystals that pulsed faintly, casting a soft golden light. The ground under her feet was rough and hot sometimes. Steam hissed from cracks in the stone. The air was thick, heavy, and smelled of sulfur and metal. The dragon moved ahead of her, its tail sweeping across the ground. Each step it took echoed deep into the cave. Lyra followed slowly, her eyes adjusting to the glow. As they moved deeper, she saw the dragon's body in full. Its wings were massive, folded close to its sides, and its scales shimmered between molten gold and black steel. There was a scar running down its left flank, deep and old. The dragon stopped near a huge chamber lit by the orange glow of flowing lava that moved like slow rivers across the stone. Heat shimmered in the air, and the sound of the molten rock bubbled like boiling water. Lyra noticed something strange. The dragon's left wing hung lower than the right, and embedded near the joint was a long spear made of some strange black metal. Faint blue light pulsed from it. The wound around it looked raw. She stepped closer, curiosity overcoming her fear. The dragon's eyes followed her, but it did not move away. "You're hurt," she said softly. The dragon lowered its head, letting out a deep, slow breath that washed over her like warm wind. Lyra reached out and touched one of the scales near the wound. It was warm, almost hot, but she felt the dragon's muscles tense. The blue light from the spear flickered as her fingers brushed it. A sharp image flashed in her mind. Humans, wearing armor and holding weapons of light, attacking the dragon in the sky. The spear piercing its wing, the pain. The fall into the mountains. Lyra gasped, stepping back. The dragon's gaze locked on hers, as if asking her a question without words. Her heartbeat pounded, but she understood. Somehow, the dragon had shown her its memory. She realized then that this creature was not just a mindless beast. It had thoughts, memories, and pain. The dragon shifted its massive body. Lying down near the lava flows, it kept watching her, as if waiting to see what she would do. Lyra sat down on a warm rock nearby, still staring at the spear. The flickering blue light seemed unnatural, dangerous. She wondered if removing it could heal the dragon, or if it would kill them both. Her eyes met the dragon's again. "If I help you," she whispered, "will you let me live?" The dragon's head tilted slightly, and then very slowly, it gave a single nod. Lyra's fear was almost gone now, replaced by a strange connection she didn't understand. Somewhere deep inside, she knew this was the first step toward something much bigger than herself. The first connection. Lyra moved closer to the dragon's injured wing. The heat from its body made her skin prickle. The black spear pulsed with a cold, blue light that felt out of place in the glowing warmth of the lava chamber. She reached out carefully, her fingers brushing the edge of the weapon. The metal felt icy and wrong, as if it carried a piece of the night sky within it. The dragon shivered slightly, a deep rumble rising from its chest. "I need to pull it out," she whispered, "but it will hurt." The dragon blinked slowly, its eyes glowing like molten suns, and lowered its head in silent agreement. Lyra gripped the spear with both hands and pulled. At first it didn't move. A strange energy seemed to resist her, pushing back against her strength. She clenched her teeth and pulled harder. The blue light flickered wildly. Suddenly, another vision flooded her mind. The dragon soaring through alien skies, its wings cutting through clouds. Then the moment of the battle, ships firing beams of light, a human warrior throwing the spear with deadly accuracy. The pain, the fall, the long years of hiding. Lyra gasped, but didn't let go. She twisted the spear slightly, and it came free with a loud, sharp crack. The wound bled briefly, glowing with golden light. The dragon let out a roar, not of anger, but of relief. The sound shook the chamber, making the lava ripple. it folded. Its wings, stretching the injured one carefully. For the first time, Lyra saw its movement was smoother, less painful. The dragon leaned closer, pressing its forehead gently against her shoulder. The gesture was strange, almost like gratitude. Lyra smiled faintly. "You're welcome," she said softly. Something deep and unspoken passed between them in that moment, a silent promise that neither would harm the other. It was the first thread of trust, thin but strong, and somewhere far above the mountains, in the alien city, the prince received word that the sacrifice had not yet been eaten. His eyes narrowed, his plans beginning to crumble. The truth. Lyra sat by the lava flow, the strange black spear lying beside her. The blue light in it had faded, leaving only cold, dead metal. She glanced at the dragon, which now rested more peacefully, its massive chest rising and falling in slow, steady breaths. Then, the air shimmered. A faint golden glow surrounded the dragon's eyes. And before Lyra could speak, her mind was filled with images again. She saw the past, the dragon soaring above green valleys, the alien people below cheering its name. It was once the guardian of the kingdom, trusted and loved, but then strange. Ships appeared in the sky, human ships with weapons that burned brighter than the sun's. The humans came not as friends but as conquerors. The royal family promised peace but feared the dragon's power. In secret, they helped the humans trap and wound it. Using the dragon's captivity, the prince's bloodline ruled the people through fear, telling them the beast would destroy them unless kept under control with sacrifices. The visions faded, and Lyra was left staring at the dragon in shock. "So, they lied to everyone," she whispered. "They lied to me." The dragon lowered its head slowly, confirming her words. Anger burned in her chest, not just for herself, but for the years of lies told to her people. The sacrifice had never been about saving the city. It was about keeping the dragon weak and the people afraid. She stood up and placed her hand gently on the dragon's snout. "They wanted me to die, but I think you and we can change this," she said, her voice steady. The dragon's golden eyes brightened. A deep, low rumble came from its chest, not a growl, but a sound of agreement. Outside, far in the distance, thunder rolled over the mountains. The city waited for news of the sacrifice. But what was coming was not fear. It was the beginning of something far greater. The escape. The dragon lifted its head, its wings stretching wide for the first time in years. The sound of scales shifting was like metal grinding against stone. Lyra stepped back, amazed at how huge the wings truly were, wide enough to cast a shadow across the whole lava chamber. The wound where the spear had been was already glowing, faintly with golden light, healing slowly. The dragon gave a low rumble and looked toward the mouth of the cave. Lyra followed its gaze. She knew what it meant. It was time to leave. She climbed carefully onto its back, gripping the base of its neck where the scales were rougher and easier to hold. The heat from its body was intense, but she didn't let go. With a powerful leap, the dragon launched into the air. Its wings beat with thunder, sending waves of hot wind through the cavern. In seconds, they burst out of the volcano into the open sky. The cold mountain air hit Lyra's face. The world below stretched wide, rivers of lava glowing between jagged peaks. Dark clouds swirling above. The alien city lay far in the distance, its crystal towers shining under the twin suns. But already, Lyra could see movement in the skies, silver hovercrafts rising from the city walls. The prince had noticed. A small group of patrol ships began to close in. Their weapons glowed with energy. The dragon gave a warning roar, echoing across the mountains. Lyra's grip tightened. "We're not going to hide anymore," she said. "Let them see you." The dragon angled its wings and soared toward the city. Faster than any craft could follow, the wind howled around them, and for the first time in her life, Lyra felt free. But she also knew the real fight was only beginning. The battle. The dragon's shadow swept over the crystal towers of the alien city. People below looked up in shock. their voices rising in a mix of fear and awe. Many had never seen the sky dragon so close. From the palace balcony, the prince watched with cold fury. His perfect plan was falling apart. He raised his hand and gave a single command: destroy them. In moments, the sky filled with silver hovercrafts and black warships. Energy cannons charged with a hum that rattled the air. The first blast streaked toward the dragon, but it rolled to the side. The beam missing by inches, Lyra clung tightly, her hair whipping in the wind. Don't kill them, she shouted into the roar. They're not the enemy, the prince is. The dragon understood. It weaved through the sky, avoiding the blasts and swiping its massive tail to knock ships aside instead of destroying them. Sparks and smoke filled the air. The people below began to notice. The dragon was not attacking them. It wasn't burning the city. It was protecting Lyra from the prince's soldiers. One bold voice from the crowd shouted, "It's the prince. He lied to us." Soon others joined in, the streets filled with shouting. The soldiers hesitated, their aim faltering. The dragon circled above the palace, its roar shaking the walls. Lyra stood on its back, raising her voice so all could hear. The sky dragon is not our enemy. We have been lied to for generations. The crowd erupted, not in fear, but in anger at their ruler. The prince realized too late, his grip on the city was breaking. The alliance, the prince's guards tried to push back the crowd, but the people no longer feared them. Cries for truth and freedom echoed through the city streets. The soldiers began to lower their weapons, uncertain. The dragon landed in the great square, its claws shaking the ground. Lyra slid down from its back, standing tall beside the massive creature. The crowd parted in silence, staring at her with wide eyes. She raised her voice so all could hear. The sky dragon once protected our world. The prince's family betrayed it. They betrayed all of us. The dragon lowered its head beside her, golden eyes watching the people. Its massive wings folded neatly against its body. The truth spread quickly, whispered from person to person, until the whole square buzzed with outrage. The prince, seeing his power crumble, tried to retreat into the palace, but the guards stepped aside, letting the people surround him. No one touched him. They didn't need to. His reign was over. Lyra turned to the dragon, placing her hand on its warm scales. "Will you protect them again?" she asked. The dragon let out a deep, steady rumble, then bowed its head in agreement. Cheers erupted, echoing off the crystal towers. The people knelt before the dragon, not in fear, but in respect. From that day, Lyra and the sky dragon became the guardians of Veralia. Their bond was unbreakable, a living reminder that fear could be turned into trust, and enemies into allies. The HFY Codex would record it as one of the greatest moments in their history, when humanity's courage and compassion changed the fate of an entire world.